where crimes are baked in every show, mysteries rise and truth unfold, and Ready, said it's time to go.
I did hear Aqua on the radio the other day, and I was just, it makes me think of you, Baker.
Yeah, because I'm a Barbie girl in that Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me anywhere. Imagination, life is your creation. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Ooh, whoa, ooh, whoa. I'm a blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world. Touch me here, touch me there, hanky panky. Come
Oh,
jump
Lord.
in, bimbo friend, let us do it again. Hit the town, fool around, let's go party. You
I
can
know.
touch, you can play. If you say, I'm only yours, you can touch,
I
you
don't think
can
he's okay,
play.
guys.
That's as much as I remember
That's
from.
like the whole song. It's a good job.
Good
Howdy.
morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And I'm a little Barbie girl.
I am a board for Clue because I am going to help. We are going to help Sarah find the clues as to why she might be in jail, because it is a little confusing to her how all of this unfair. This is so unfair because you guys twisted it on me, and now you're making this my fault. Like,
This is like Del Brooks when he's in the middle of the interview. He looks at them and says, I see what you're doing. No, we're not really doing it. You took your mom's truck, drove it through a parade. I see what you're doing. I see what you're up to. I know what you're up to. Nah.
yeah, well, I like how he said, "You're trying to railroad me." And I was like, yes, many people have thought about that. It's supposed to be a moral question. Like, if you had to run over one, hypothetical person to save 5, I don't feel like that would be much of a question if it was Daryl.
Yeah, would you hit Daryl or the Christmas parade? That scale would swing very fast in one direction. And yes, someone noticed the T. This is a gift from Little D. Thank you so much, Little D, because I was looking at it when we were shopping at the mall before I took her to. Mo, you probably don't know. I took Little D on a date, and because I don't know women, I talked to Iris and I said, Iris, how do you get to a woman's heart? And she said, Yo quiero Taco Bell. And I said,
well, if you show you're frugal and you get me the spicy sauce and the little cinnamon twist, I mean, keep her.
I said, no habla español. So she said, take her to Taco Bell. Everyone loves Taco Bell. And everyone knows that the Spanish ladies are a little caliente. And I said, still no habla. And she said, it means a good time. So we were at the mall, and she later got me this one. So thank you so much, Little D. Let's say hello to Swifty and Miss Jemima. Over. And Brits. Putting on the Ritz. Chelsea B. Esprit Fleck. Danny T. She also speaks Espanol. Hola. Fedorowski speaks Norwegian. New video out yesterday. Spacey Stacy. Gil Ritchie, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Mo is a little troubled by the weather. And over on your side, Tamay. As this is getting closer, are you feeling nervous butterflies for your gal, Sarah? Yes, because in 3 weeks, I will be flying to Florida International Airport, whatever. Probably I'll just fly to Cuba and sail over like everyone else. It's cheaper. And
And you get to see wildlife, you get to explore the ocean. I mean, and as
Yeah, and I
two
get a free
people,
phone and a free hotel stay.
what I will say, Baker, is since you are, maybe averse to direct sunlight like me, I would pack a lot of sunblock.
I have SPF 40, so I probably could do. Well, I don't burn. Well, I do get red, but then it just turns brown real fast. So I'm
I don't like
but-
you.
no, but I'm my daughter hates me because she has her mom's skin. Me and the oldest has my skin, and the youngest and her mother has the same. So she will turn into a tomato. 2 days later, she will be white again, then turn into a tomato. So that's I mostly use just to cover my tattoos is where I use my suntan lotion to try and keep a little color in them.
I'm jealous.
Hey, Peter,
I
it's probably not that healthy. I normally, if it's good weather in the summer, I sleep out on the porch for my pre-stream nap.
Ooh,
That's stupid sometimes.
we have
Okay,
too many
hey.
mosquitoes. They like me too much. The sun doesn't like me, but mosquitoes are like, "Hello, friend. Would you like to donate to our cause?" And I'm like, "No, no, I don't."
That's funny. My youngest daughter, the same. Me, not really. And she has, I think she's kind of, it's something like they spit something in there to anti-coagulate the blood. And when she gets stung, it just balloons up. So if she gets a mosquito bite, or we don't call it that, we call it mug. But get one of those. We need to get her on antihistamines because else she'll swell up. It's like if I get a bee sting. Hey, Just Jen and Adelaide Les, almost in bed. Broken hearted. Melissa. That weird girl, Kim. Not the other weird girls.
Oh, okay. I thought that was something because sometimes you'll say Jemima, and I was like, that, but it was actually that
That weird girl, Kim, yeah.
weird girl Kim.
Sarah's going to be sitting in her cell in a few weeks, really regretting going to trial. No, she's going to be with me suitcase shopping at the mall looking for dudes. That's the. Have you seen that clip from Nickelodeon? So, what do you like to do? I like to go hang out at the mall, spending money, looking at dudes. I'm so sad Jamie can't be here. She loves that clip.
If there was not anything more terrifying for men, I can't imagine that a Sarah Boone on the loose would not be the most terrifying thing for men.
Hey, TLA. The only man I know who can sing all the words to Barbie Girl. I can't do the first two words. Remember, it's Danish music, our biggest exports in 3 years, I think. Today, it's selling medicines to Americans so they're not that fat. Thank you, Novo Nordisk. We sell you insulin and that anti-fat drug.
As a fluffy who is using that to, deflate just a little bit because it is harder for me to be active, thank you, but also could it be cheaper? And or could you send over chocolate too?
They should come with a bar of chocolate just to take the blunt of it.
Although
Hey,
then it
Nanny
makes you
Gert.
really sick if you are on this medication, if you have way too much sugar, like maybe because
Is it like the old one you got where if you ate any fat, you would be living on the throne?
just for me, it was because I really had to, dial down on, not being a drunken toddler when I eat, trying to get all 4 food groups and things like that instead of like Mike and Ike's and Diet Pop. So, but it's also just a tool and I still have to make good choices. So I think some people just think like, "Oh, I'll get to do, whatever," but no, you have to kind of still be doing good things and being as active as you can.
Yeah, there's no magic pills. There's a magic
Dang it.
there's a magic thing that we just go back and let us get the thermal power back in the 90s. It was amphetamines, but it was good. It worked. Hey, Lynn. And Mac in Florida. Beer and Mo. What? It's like I was on with Miss Shorty, the other day, and she kept calling me bacon. I know I'm fat, but don't call me bacon.
Bacon is great. If someone called me bacon, I'd be like, as long as it's not burnt and crispy, I'm here for it. Now you call me burnt bacon, I'm gonna be a little bit salty.
Yeah. Low 40s in Massachusetts. Ooh. I thought you swore never to visit the Sunshine State. I will only visit to pick up my girl when she's free to go in 3 weeks.
So
It
are you
was
going to
not-
be stuffing her in carry-on, or are you going to, what is it when they put it under the undercarriage in the air? I haven't been on an airplane in like 16 years, so I don't remember, but where they tag it and put it underneath.
Checked baggage. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I would have her in one of those ski bags.
Possibly good.
She doesn't get as cramped as that.
Very
Good
thoughtful of
morning,
you.
genitals. Maria Miles. Oh, Zach is here. I could be the Baconator. I like a Baconator.
Those
Valhalla
things
got me
are
one.
good.
He got me one when we landed, or when I landed. Crispy bacon is better than floppy bacon. Yes, no floppy bacon for me, thanks.
Crispy but not burnt. My husband likes his burnt, like black, and I don't get it. I was like, how can you destroy bacon? But he can.
Yes, like a duffel bacon. Well, we do them very crispy, but we do the thin sliced bacon. We don't do the fat Canadian bacon, which is just a piece of ham.
Yeah, I never understood that. I was like, that's a ham.
Yeah. And just sent me something on Discord. I don't know. My phone doesn't give me the notice anymore for Discord unless I have the program open. I really hate Discord. It's stupid. That just tastes like char. Oh, yeah, the bacon. Yeah, bacon should be jerky. No, bacon should be crispy, so it has a good snap to it. I am a Barbie girl. Alternative juror. It's Tuesday, so she's hanging out with her dad today. Hey, Kim. And Lefty is here, so we would be ready to go. Because, as his name says, he's normally always left behind. Well, that's what his mom and dad did in a trash can, raised by feral raccoons.
Raised by the internet.
The internet and feral raccoons. Canadian bacon is called pea meal bacon here. Pea meal. I don't know what that means.
I guess I'd rather call it Canada or Canadian bacon than pea meal. There are some words that bacon cannot make better, and pea meal is going to be one of those in my book.
Pea and meal. No. Yeah, that's what I said to Lefty when he told me he was raised by trash pandas. I said, leave them alone, Lefty. Have you ever had pork belly? Yes. But you don't...
Yeah, I use it to make bao.
What?
So you don't have the smallish feral children, but Disney came out with this animated short that was all about, this mom creating this little bao bun. So it's like a steamed bun with
oh, yeah. Like a dumpling.
Roasted. Yeah. And my kids so I learned how to make it, probably inauthentically and terribly. I'm not going to lie, the whole pinching thing. But my kids love it. And we have some lovely international markets, so I'll get pork belly, and it is, I know. And then, of course, if you're maybe having a sad, like, girl hormone days, then the bao short will make you cry like you just watched the opening to Up. hysterically and full of snot.
We have what we had a minister who was very smart and had too much money, so he wanted to find out what's the Danish national dish, because you can't spend taxpayer money enough on finding out what's the Danish national dish. And we actually have something called stik flæsk, and that's a fried pork belly, and we cut them in like this thick, and then you fry it in the oven, and you serve it with like a parsley gravy and potatoes. That's the Danish national dish. It's good. And
I mean, covers all my food groups.
Yeah, you have the green for whatever part of that vegetables.
Is.
You have the potatoes for your Irish background. It's nothing not so, and it's really good because a lot of restaurants has it as all you can eat flæsk. So you can you go in there and you just sit down and you drink a lot of beer, and sometimes you eat. It's good.
I like it.
Let's get to it before we get into.
Sounds good. Before we just start talking and we're both like, okay, well, we need to go now because we're really hungry.
Eating on a Budget will be Jamie's new show starting tomorrow at noon, where she will tell you all the best ways of using every part of the pig, from the eyeballs to the tip of the tail. Jamie will make that show tomorrow, and then she will twist it into Beauty on a Budget, where she will tell you which part of the pig is in beauty products. Tomorrow, maybe at noon.
Jamie is gonna yell at you.
She's working today, so I can say whatever I want. She's not listening.
Today's date is February 26, 2020. The time now is approximately 12:05 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located at Tealwood Park Apartments, 4704 Lucier, Fort Winter Park, Florida, 32792. I am here with my partner, Detective Scott Long, with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And can you state your name?
Melissa May Sexton.
You are the property manager of this complex, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we had Kim in here asking about the tenants, Sarah Boone and George Torres. And they have lived here. You gave us a date of February 9th, 2018.
Correct.
Okay. You had told us that Sarah would confide in you about her and George's relationship. Can you tell us further what she would tell you?
Yes.
She's an apartment manager, not Dr.
Shortly
Phil.
after she moved in.
Would you hate having her as your neighbor? Member of the HOA, just coming by saying, "Hey, Mo, I'm really... George and I was at it yesterday." And you would just look at her and say, "Oh, you smell a lot like alcohol. What's wrong, strange lady?" She's one of those persons who will stop you at Walmart and talk about her day.
Yeah, against your will, and not noticing any sort of context clues, like moving slowly away or, faking a heart attack. I mean, I'm just saying, when you have to get out of somewhere, or like saying, "Oh," pretending you don't speak English. I mean,
Sarah is a Jerry Springer show all day long.
She has dinner and a show. Well, if you drink your dinner and a show.
Yeah, she's a liquid dinner and a show.
True.
I like smoothies more.
Yeah.
To each their own. Who are we to judge? We are YouTubers, so we judge everything.
True.
Because as the good book says, Cast the first stone before someone can judge you. Make sure it hits. Deuteronomy 25:26.
That must
With
have been in
George, she came to the office.
your version.
To talk to me. We noticed bruises and stuff on her, and she asked me if she could talk to me privately, and asked how she would be able to get George off of the lease. Is there any way to do that? Which prompted, deeper conversation. She proceeded to let me know, and she was showing me a lot of bruises and marks. There were handprints, scratches. She even at one point had to go to the hospital. Through multiple conversations that we had, it steadily progressed. She had a very large gash at one point in her shin. She had to go to the hospital and get that taken care of. I'm not exactly sure what it was from, but I think it had to do when they got into a fight outside and something got broke. I think it was one of their wine glasses or something. But, she came to me at one point asking,
That's why she wanted him off the lease. It was her favorite wine glass. It could have just a little extra in it.
Also, I mean, maybe it's just me, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but there are certain things I don't share with the internet. We all have like those, maybe not so bright, shiny things about us that I guess I didn't get the memo that I was supposed to put directly on TikTok. But why go and tell someone all of this? What's the apartment manager going to do for you? She's going to tell you that you cannot just kick someone off a lease, but this apartment manager is not paid enough to fix Sarah Boone's problems.
No, she's probably just standing there saying, "This isn't a Wendy's. Go to Wendy. Talk to them.
Go get a Frosty."
Yeah.
What do I do? Like, how can I get rid of him? I've never dealt with this type of situation. I just counsel her as she continued to come to me and explain to her that, she had to make a decision if she was going to stay with him or not be with him. If she, was going to try to work things out, they needed to seek out therapy, help, something. It wasn't too long after that last conversation that I found out the police had come and George was arrested. I don't remember about how long it was in between time, but there was another incident after that where they both got arrested, all for domestic. The complaints throughout their whole term, roughly about 20 to 30 noise complaints, fighting, arguing, banging on doors, loud music. It was just always something pertaining to their lifestyle. I do know that I have seen both of them intoxicated as early as 9 o'clock in the morning, and I mean staggering, falling down.
Hey, it's kind of like if you want to get good at something, start early. Don't throw shade at someone being drunk at 9 in the morning. It could be that they, like MG, had been at a party with Brandon last night. They could not have been sober yet. So don't throw shade.
Think she ever reaches even semi-sober? I mean, until she was actually in jail.
Imagine those first 3 days in jail where she detoxed.
Oh, good
with
Lord.
her horrible personality, crying, being in bed, whining, complaining, not taking a shower. And she was luckily she was in a solitary cell at that point, because I bet you she had those first 3 days with the withdrawals. Oh my.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine having, I mean, she must have spent the last 15 years or so just drinking as a profession.
Yeah.
And I mean, I almost feel slightly sad or slightly bad for her, but then, she starts yelling at the, corrections officers who just, tell her, hey, these are the rules. You are not a special snowflake. You can't, just do what you want. And she's like, get your manager. And then I was like,
would you like to shake my bra as well?
No,
you haven't read that?
Do that.
You haven't read that in
I remember reading that, but I think I blocked it out of my mind because it involved Sarah's bra, and it was just too horrifying and traumatical.
Well, she just didn't want to get the same rules like everyone else and get a pat down. So she was asking if she wanted to shake her bra.
You'd have to pay me a lot of money to get to second base with Sarah.
Well, I've seen her without a bra.
Well, we all have, which is, again, why I don't think anyone needed to look in there.
Well, I'm just saying that even for her age, they have the same length. And that's doesn't matter if they're saggy, if they're just equally saggy.
Intoxicated, both of them.
National Geographic worked with young men before we had internet.
About some fighting one day that was going on, and Sarah was actually wandering around the property very drunk, barefoot.
She can't drink. She won't drink. She don't drink. This is defamation. She's never, ever drinking again.
Not properly dressed. I'll say it like that. Sitting on the side of her building over by the retention pond. When I was told about that is when I approached Sarah, sat down, talked to her. I even had also separately went and talked to George and told them that once they had sobered up, I needed to have a meeting with them. The following business day, because this was a Friday, I do remember that. I went to see them Monday, roughly about 12 o'clock. They were sober. They apparently had some epiphany, that they were going to straighten themselves up and start acting right. And they did very good.
They were visited by the Holy Ghost with fiery tongues landing on their head.
Yeah, she over that weekend she had the three spirits of Boone Farm of the past, present, and future. And the future was showing her she would be living under a bridge if she couldn't stop being drunk at 9 a.m. and get into trouble.
True.
I am an FBI agent. I need that t-shirt. Oh. Why do I get called a misogynist sometimes? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
it is a cross to bear.
I'm just an admirer of women.
It's May of the past year, but up until that point, the complaints were consistent, monthly, always.
Would you ever speak with George by himself? Like, did he ever confide in you about their relationship?
The one time where, like I was just saying, that when I talked to her, she asked me to go talk to him. But she's like, please go put the fear of God in him. Fear of God in him. I'm a very stern property manager. I don't tolerate a whole lot of crap.
Right.
And she knew that. And she seemed scared of him at the time. So I said, sure, no problem. Just stay here. I will go talk to him. I went over, sat down, talked to George. I talked to him for about 30 minutes altogether. And, George had explained to me that she was actually the aggressive one. And the reason she ended up with marks is, in my
really
perception,
like socialism.
What he was trying to explain is that she's very hands-on, in the face,
Baker, go back. They put, instead of marks, they put marks, like Carl.
Well,
she's running for Swedish, political stuff.
Well, I know Sweden, and their most right-wing party would still look at Stalin and think, I don't like these liberal types. Zach, there will be no sharing. Tom Gillis had her first. I'll have her seconds, and you can have her when I'm done. Marinated in Boone's Farm and man juice. Boone is just getting a bad rep. She's just a simple girl who wants a simple guy to love her from inside a suitcase in Denmark. Thank you so much, Iris. You get her. I will, like you told me I should do with every girl I like, take her to Taco Bell. and give her the hot sauce, if you know what I mean. Please don't think about that.
In I'll say my perception of what he was trying to explain is that she's very hands-on, in the face, dramatized and talking and explaining or fussing or whatever they might have been doing.
Right.
And I believe that because Jean, my assistant, doesn't even like to deal with her, would avoid her like the plague, because she was always drunk and she's very hands-on. There was one day, as a matter of fact, it was that same day that I talked to George by himself. She kept grabbing me by the arms to the point that I told her, I said, touch me one more time, we're going to have a problem. I'm either going to contact the police or whatever we need to do, but you can't keep grabbing on me. I had asked her several times to quit touching me. And because of that, she would do the same thing to Jean, and Jean didn't like it.
Right.
I will say, good on this manager for protecting her employee. As a person who's not comfortable around aggressive, drunken people or just people in general, I mean, good on this manager for, seeing that her employee was uncomfortable, because some managers won't step in, they'll just, but it also really, if she goes on the stand and, then you have the other, employee at the complex who did, avoid her, it again just breaks down one more little piece of, I was always the victim. I'm never aggressive. I'm always kind and nice. It chips away at that facade, paper thin as it is.
Yeah, and she's doing the same here as she's been doing with everyone else. Can you take care of George for me? George is such a bad guy. George attacks me. George says, oh, it's not, I never make problems. I can't drink. I won't drink. I don't drink. I don't like to lose my mental faculties, corpus mentis. But could you please we heard it yesterday from the brother. She starts the trouble, and then she throws the phone at him and say, hey, your brother is an a-hole. Because I think she's one of those who gets off by making drama. And she doesn't have that girl group when she can go and say, I'm not saying that I'm going to use a Danish name now so no one gets in trouble and say it. I mean someone else. I'm not saying Lisbeth is having a wide behind. I'm just saying, do they have pants in size circus? And then she'll go to Lisbeth and say, hey, I don't think you're as, I think you got a badoink. But Tove is saying you got a fat ass, girl, and not in the good way. She's one of those people who just constantly stirs shit to have, so she can sit in the middle and say, oh, the whole world is burning. I don't know why.
Yeah, she would be that type of person that wants to bring everyone down to her level so she can look good in comparison. So she'd tell, Lisbeth that of course you want to wear horizontal stripes. No, you don't want to slim. You want to accentuate that badonkadonk, even if it's, a square like SpongeBob instead of, well, a peach,
Yeah. Yeah. And but you see them. Normally, you do it with your girlfriends and just start a lot of trouble there, and sit there and say, "Oh, so you heard about Lisbeth's husband?" Well, I heard it from someone. I didn't personally see him at the gym talking to that 20-year-old, with the. I'm not saying she might have asked him about correct squat form. But someone else told me that, and then she can't. Why are you getting divorced, Lisbeth? I don't know why that happened. Oh my! I hate women like that.
Well, and they're so toxic, and this is why she has no female friends, because eventually the friend group all talks after all this drama is created, And we all realize, hey, this is coming from one source.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she get kicked out, and then she goes find a new friend group and say, them be mean girls.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look out for Regina George. I mean, Mean Girls, and they wear pink on Wednesday. And I know because I used to be over there, but they bullied me out.
Yeah, I was trying to tell them to not be as C-wordy as they are, but I guess I'm just a better person. The crosses I bear.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he was explaining to me, is she was always the touchy one, the aggressive one, you know, not that she was hitting him, but she would be like in his face, or she might, you know, push him, or, you know, little things like that. And she would block him from coming out of the room or whatnot, and he would take her and move her. You know what I mean? And just, that's the way he had explained it to me.
Right.
She has told me, even literally to Monday, I have been told by her several occasions that he has drugged her around by the hair of her head. I've been, you know, told about by neighbors. I'm sorry I don't have it anymore, but at one point a tenant actually sent us a video clip via text of them two fighting and beating on each other out in the backyard. There was another complaint incident about a ladder being propped up to the wall that George was using to climb over the wall to try to get back into his apartment, sneaking in and out. There was another night, sorry, I forgot to tell you about this too. I got a call for one of my vacants in building 24, 4724, which is not the building. There was a tent set up on my vacant back porch. And it's apparently where George was sleeping for a couple of nights because she had him out of the house. I have another tenant here who may or may not speak to you, I'm not sure. For that reason, I don't want to give you her name just yet without talking to her, but George and her fighting that different evening had actually wandered into her home. He was so drunk and had no idea where he was. And when she came home, luckily her kids were not there because she's a single mother with 3 kids. George was actually upstairs in her house hollering and looking for Sarah, thinking he was in his apartment. So we've had some incidences with them in that aspect, but nothing has ever been so bad that, you know, I didn't feel that we could resolve the problem. And like I said, we haven't had any issues since May of last year. No complaints, no nothing until this. So we thought, hey, they're doing great. You know, maybe they fixed the problems. I mean,
has she come to you since May of any issues?
No,
okay.
Not one time.
But then again, you did.
Marissa, I think the reason they didn't call the cops, if you've had to deal with a person like this, first of all, the cops are not going to keep them, unfortunately, for a DV. So she's going to be able to bond out or bully Brian into getting that. And then she is going to make it her job to figure out who, you know, called the cops on them and aggressively confront them. My guess is, again, people looked at it and thought, yeah, that's not my circus, not my clowns, not any of this.
You heard the neighbor say it yesterday. We stopped calling the police. No, Jorge. Someone said yesterday, and the ones who listened to, we stopped. Because you get into that with those people. The police doesn't even want to come. I've told that story before. The first time I had a sleepover was with a guy whose mom was an alcoholic, and I came from my mom and dad never drank when I was a kid. I think my dad was drunk maybe twice in my entire childhood. He could have it like a beer or two, but he was never drunk. I remember once or twice he was hungover. That's all I remember. And this guy, we went into a bar to ask his mom if it was okay. I slept over with him. And then when we came home, his brother came over. His brother was both a drug addict and an alcoholic, which I had no knowledge of any of that. I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I was just scared and didn't know and didn't understand, and I didn't want to go home because it was kind of cool being allowed to sleep over. And then the brother said, well, I'm going to go. Back then you could rent like a Nintendo to play because no one had the money to have a Nintendo. And he said, I'm just going to go get it. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to get a Nintendo to play. We went to bed because no one came home. We were alone at that house. No one was there to help us, take care of us. So just went to bed. I woke up at like 10, 11 o'clock with the brother trying to kick down the door because the mom had come home, locked it. Then half an hour later, I heard the mom being thrown through a glass table. And I was like, hey, what's going on? And he said, don't just go to bed. That was just, that was a regular school night. And the next morning when we got up, she was up there making us breakfast. I never slept there again. But you just get used to it if it's every night someone is kicking, screaming, knocking things over.
Yeah, and it's so sad that kids grow up thinking this is normal because this is just how things go in their family. And it's sad that kids have to deal with this kind of thing. It really is. Oh, she got a shower last night. But yeah, her hair. I swear, if I had one interview question with Sarah, I'd be like, what do you do with your hair and how does it never move? Is it a wig? I am asking simply because what is going on with your hair?
Kathy Russo is saying, day 2 of jury selection in the Sarah Boone. Boone is wearing a green shirt and a gray suit and has actual shoes, not jail slides. Likely get a jury by the end of the day or tomorrow morning. And the same. But yeah. Now she has another lawyer sitting next to her. So that's going to be interesting.
Was that the one from Georgia that couldn't get his audio to work?
It's a black guy.
Well, yeah, I just remember him having terrible audio.
Oh, the guy who was sitting there yelling and nothing happened? Yeah, that was nice.
You're going to be evicted if there are.
Yes.
So it's kind of like tighten up or get out.
Yeah, it was put up or shut up. I was over it.
Yeah.
If it continued, I was putting them out.
Okay.
So.
Did you ever see any marks on George?
No. Not one. Not one. George was a little bit darker skin.
This isn't a deposition. This is an interrogation. So I don't know if there has been if this has been released to her. But if this is in evidence, but it probably won't. No, they'll probably do a deposition of her. They won't put this in evidence because they'll have her on the stand testifying to this.
Well, that, and I think so. The use of the word interrogation here is not. This person is not in custodial custody. You know, basically, this is just an interview. But you know, in context, it makes. I always get prison and jail mixed up, even though I've been, you know, quite. I know they're two different things, but I always mix it up. So I do believe that they probably depose all of their witnesses. So the defense is going to know basically the questions that the state is going to ask her and the general gist of that. So my guess is if Sarah has gone through her discovery diligently, then the state had her ready to go 4 years ago, is my guess.
And all of this have been, they will probably have, they have this in evidence, and then because if someone has passed away or something, but they will normally do like a deposition, so everything is by the book, and they are told their rights and also the consequences if they lie and stuff like that. Because you hear it in the end of everything saying, "Oh, just by the punishment of perjury," or whatever they say. Do you swear everything is? But that's not how you really do it. So, but all of this, yes, she will have access to it, and she will know that all of these people are lying. They are out to get her. They couldn't stand that she had that good life. They were making puzzles. They were painting. They had a wonderful life. She was taking care of poor little doggos. And these people were just out to harass her. They ruined her relationship with George. That's how her internal monologue is. She will never, ever admit that she caused any problem, and everyone is just a lying sack of crap. Yeah, they would have done all the depositions. Everything is taken into deposition. So, yeah. Oh.
Thank you so much for, yeah, it's fading out. So now I need to decide whether I'm going to go back to my red or I'm going to try more crazy colors. Pretty much leaning back towards red.
I'm thinking I'll go frosted tips the next time.
Ooh. Well, it nearly is the 17th, almost time for your hair appointment. I don't know why, of all the things I can't remember, I can remember your hair, monthly standing haircut appointment.
Because it's important. It's, I don't know, that's because I had to tell a lot of times when everyone, oh, you got a haircut. No, I get a haircut on the 17th. It's easy to remember.
Can't remember.
I hate every day the last week up to I'm thinking, just go up and get it done. I hate the length it has now. I'm almost a hippie. It's almost as wide as my fingers. I'm feeling like the Beatles right now.
Baker, have you thought about bringing back the mullet?
I never had, because my hair doesn't grow evenly in the back. I get like a,
oh dang,
like a dog ass. I don't know if you call it that, but we call it when it goes into it. It's a dog ass, like quack quack, not a woof woof.
I never heard it called that, but there you go.
Have you ever had long hair? I had the 90s do back in the late 90s. I did have the middle part and the undercut. I looked like crap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
when you see Georgia as often as you saw Sarah, it sounds like Sarah came to you a lot more than.
Yeah. As we would always see Sarah. As far as the only time I ever really saw George is the time when we actually got George to sign off the lease.
Right.
And he came to me and said, I can't get back in the house. She's got all my personal paperwork because would you please have a conversation with her so that I can get my personal paperwork back from her? He goes, but do you have a set of bolt cutters for my bicycle that's out back? And I said, what's it chained to, And he said, it's actually chained to your AC unit. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll cut the lock. I'll cut the lock for anything attached to my AC unit. It's not supposed to be attached to that.
Right.
So I went out back and actually cut the lock on both of the bike locks because Sarah would not answer the door for me because she knew George was there. Once George was gone, she had actually, because Sarah had my cell phone number, being that I had already went through and just got out of a very abusive relationship, Sarah knew that because, I confided in her and explained that. She did feel a lot more comfortable in coming to me. So I told her if she ever needed someone, or it was an emergency, she could reach out to me and I would do what I could to help her. I felt bad for her. But after a while, when she just kept taking him back, I just told her, I said, you're just going to have to call the authorities on your own. It's obvious you don't want it to stop. He's not doing anything to get help according to you. Then you just keep dealing with it. I mean, there comes a point where it's just stupidity. But that's the run-ins and incidences that I've had with him. I've never seen a mark on George, and he's never told me that she's hit her at all.
Okay.
But she has told me in front of him that he has hit her and things that he's done, and he was not denying it. He never denied it. So George and her both expressed to me on many occasions that they knew they needed help. But I'm guessing due to their financial situation, not having any work, probably why they didn't do much.
Right.
When you saw them together, who looked to be like a more dominant? Did one seem to be more dominant?
I love the closed captions just adding applause at random moments or music.
Yeah, you're sitting here thinking, why? But that's it's She told me in front of him too. You can just imagine how browbeaten this man was.
Well, and I
yeah.
think the manager seems like she can kind of sniff out the thing. And, she does start out saying, yeah, I was totally on Sarah's side. But as I got more evidence, as I, looked at everything, this seems like they were both mutually combative to each other and they both needed to change. That's what Sarah's going to be most upset about, if you ask my opinion. She is going to be upset that, well, I can't believe that she didn't, diagnose the situation as me being the victim completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I did nothing wrong. Everyone says this lady just, it's because she was probably the abuser in her abusive blah.
Well, and that's the other thing. Sarah will not hesitate to tell Owens to go up there and say, well, you used to deal with, DV too. How dare you attack a victim? How dare you victim blame?
Yeah.
I have no doubt that it, given how Owens has reacted and shushed the judge, I have no doubt that he would sink that low and say something like that to this property manager.
Yeah, she will he will try and just, but I can't wait to see what his approach to all of this will be. It's going to be horrendous. That's all I can say. Horrendous.
Yeah.
The other, George was very confident. He wasn't arrogant or anything. He, for the most part, stayed to himself. Like I said, there are a couple people here that he knew, from, I would say, another life from Philadelphia. And, George was the one I always seen driving the vehicle. George is the one I always seen playing with the child. Never saw Sarah outside playing with her kid, ever. As a matter of fact, most of the time, Lucas, you would find him riding around the property on his bike, unattended. No parents outside, no nothing. Because I had actually had a conversation with Sarah about that. And I said, the kid was a great kid. Don't get me wrong. He never did anything to get in trouble. But it was more my concern for his well-being. When he's all the way riding over here around some of these corners with the dumpsters, these people don't see nobody. And they sure ain't going to see no kid outside. So I had a conversation with her about that. And we haven't had any really problems. I can say I've only seen Lucas on his bike away from her like that twice. She actually had secluded him to stay in front of the building, which was fine. I just didn't want to live here.
I think I figured out why I don't get the notifications, even though I that's why I've been a little distracted, because it annoys me that I don't, because normally then I know I have to check Discord or something. It's because I hit something on my watch, so whenever I have my watch on, it puts my notifications on silent.
Oh.
I love modern technology when it just chooses to do something you didn't ask it to.
Yeah.
Especially because we talked about this. What case were we covering together back then?
Was it that god awful, and not just because of the subject matter, but the Texas one where Dave was like, "Oh, this is a great trial."
No, we didn't share.
Was it
Eddie Yon?
That might have been it. Yeah. Because I think that was one of the big ones we covered together.
Yeah. And back then we were in talks of maybe having an Asian intern to take care of all the techie stuff. Still haven't figured that one out, but
still looking.
So if any of you out there have a hookup to an intern, Mo and I can be sharing, because Mo and I will be dual covering the Sarah Boone case, because Jamie is out working for Doctors Without Borders. Right now, she is in Uganda working on the famine crisis. So she will be more spotty on and off. So Mo and I will have to collaborate. So, because kind of like Captain Planet. With our powers combined, we can almost make a Jamie. So
True.
if you know an Asian intern that can help us with all of the shortcomings, like getting notifications off your watch and into your phone.
No, they don't have to be anything. Creed, color, religion doesn't matter. I would just like someone who knows how to work my computer and can do that for me.
How do we get on your Discord? Do I have a link? I have a link in my member section. And if you're searching for the Discord, it's just called Broken Baker. It's not so you can just join it because I like to have a little, but if you reach out to Iris, Jemima, Jamie, they will help you get on there. It's not a pay-to-play Discord. It's free for everyone. We just kind of like to know, okay, now we're letting someone in called Lunatic665, and we know, oh, that's ADHD from the YouTube chat. It's just that way, so we kind of know who comes in there, because, and Mo will tell you this as well, sometimes you have a little trouble with some people online, because people have too much life and not enough, too much time and not enough life, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Well, I'm glad we made doing the dishes hilarious, because the dishes sometimes stinks. They just do, especially if your kids don't rinse them.
And talking about doing the duel, please go give Mo. I can see I have 183 and Mo has 44 people on our YouTube, 65 I have over on Twitter. Please go and show Mo a little love, give her a little subscription. Normally, she starts the day with a quick take on the news from 8 to 9, so you are ready to go when you go to trials with a quick news overview. So please, if you're inclined, and I can't force you to do it, but I will Sarah Boone you. If you don't go, give her a little subscription. Please do it. Show Mo a little love. She's a sweetheart and makes everything better.
And I have Brows of Justice. They arrived yesterday. So whenever we need to, give props to, Judge Kranick, I do have the Brows of Justice.
And you got them the same day Brandy returned to the internet. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, being a Cancer, I was able to intuit through, extra empathy and super empath powers that she needed brow support, and I am here for it.
It is great in this deep end. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Mo and I have a shared love of not being able to pronounce things.
True. I always
it hurts my brain every time you try and pronounce any Danish things, and then I remember me trying to say coagulate or Christina Aguilera.
Oh, believe me, I pulled up that weird opera thing, and I was like, oh, Baker's going to be upset when I try to say some of these words, because I was like,
yeah,
I don't know how you say the little O with the 2 dots on top of it, so I'm just going to highlight this word for you guys.
Seen fist bumping. Oh, they're so street.
Oh, Lord.
Let's get this done, and then we actually have a surprise motion from the state's objection and motion in limine to exclude the decedent's medical records. So we'll read that after this one. She has a weird laugh at inappropriate times.
But yeah, you didn't see Sarah at all. The only time I ever saw her, especially after the incident that took place with Emmett and his ex-girlfriend, it was more like a confrontation that took place in the office. She made an accusation on Emmett, saying that he was trying to forcefully, I don't want to say rape, but he was trying to push himself on her.
On Sarah?
On Sarah. She made that claim.
Some tenant?
Another tenant that knew George from Philly. And they confronted the two of them. You know, I will say Sarah held her ground when the girl confronted her and asked her and said, you know, don't lie to my face. And Sarah said, yeah, he did. You know, so I was surprised because.
So stirring shit with George's family, saying he beat her, so George got beat up, and now she goes and says someone else who knows George raped her or tried to rape her. Did I get that one right? Just to stir another drama.
That's what I'm understanding from this, but it's so hard with Sarah. Because nothing is ever actually the truth. And she, unlike me, is just addicted to the drama. She wants to be, you know, the victim in everyone's eyes, and she doesn't mind, you know, making up these stories that have real world consequences, you know.
No, because they're fighting over me.
Yeah. She is the chick that gets her boyfriend into the bar fight. She's the one, like, the dude's like, hey, no, you bumped into me. No worries. We're fine. And she's like, how dare you step up to my man? Don't let him get away with it.
Throwing the glass of beer into his face.
Yeah.
I've been through that once or twice.
She's the chick that gets her dude, you know, in intensive care because she's like, my boyfriend can take on all y'all's. And George is just like, what?
My boyfriend said, you rodeo guys ain't that tough. This isn't the nosy neighbor. This is the property manager that she used as a battered spouse specialist, therapist, drink interventionist. She used her as everything.
She knew that girl was but she's larger than me. So, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, maybe there's some truth to that. But it ended up, you know, just fizzling out. It was no big deal. After that situation took place, we really didn't see Sarah too much. He was pretty intimidated. Those two folks are actually a pretty large family that I have living here on site that actually took up 4 units at that time. So the whole family lived here. You know, it's a little intimidating. So after that, we really didn't see a whole lot.
But before that, they would hang out periodically.
The other two families, no, they just knew each other from back in the day.
Oh, the couple did.
The kids did.
The kids.
Yes, that's what initially prompted it, and then that accusation was made. During that same time.
Okay.
So, and when it comes to the kids on my property, I stay very involved with them. We had some issues with our bus routes and all kinds of stuff, and we had some kid vandalism being done, broken glass bottles. They were pulling glass bottles out of the trash, breaking them, thought it was fun. And one kid told on another, then the parents got involved. It became a little bit of an issue, so I had to get in the middle to squash it, you know. I didn't want anybody fighting on the property or kids getting hurt for that matter.
Yeah, she is an oversharer like Sarah. Imagine those two in their cups together.
Oh, Lord.
It's worse than me and you on a stream together trying to talk over each other.
True, but I do like how she's giving the background. And yeah, she is oversharing, but she's also giving you kind of the sense of how the environment was when, and that, yeah, they did have, you know, Sarah wasn't the only, you know, troublemaker, but she did insert herself into a lot of the drama. So it does kind of give you a sort of, yeah, we had some issues even before Sarah. We still have them now, but they were kind of normal things that, you know, you would expect: kids being left alone, doing dumb kid stuff, you know, parents not wanting to take responsibility for their kid doing dumb kid stuff. So it is really, really just kind of, okay, this is a slice of life. And I'm guessing not many people ask her, you know, story as an apartment manager. So if I were given the opportunity to be like, well, this is what I do all day, I'd probably overshare.
Talking about kids, glass bottles, really not. The detectives are probably standing there with the face on.
Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know about Sarah or George that we haven't discussed?
I mean, no, I don't. Nothing really. Her nickname's Drunky the Bear. I mean, you know, we know.
Okay, Baker. You have better AI skills than me. If our thumbnail tomorrow doesn't have a bear on a little tricycle doing with the Sarah Boone haircut, I mean, where did we go wrong? Drunky Alky the bear. It's like Yogi, but for, you know,
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Oh my. Drunky the bear. Oh my god. I have to take a I have to take a note in AI Drunky the bear.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be it's gonna be great.
I'm just now I know what I have to do if I wake up early tomorrow. Yeah, with skinny little legs. We call her Drunky the bear.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working on that too because I need to make thumbnails too, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, how can I do this?
Oh, Jamie is hating that she can't be here laughing on screen now.
I know. She's like, Drunky the bear?
Would she ever...
How did I miss that?
I know she confided in you a lot. Would she ever admit that she was an alcoholic to you?
Yeah.
She would.
Yes. I wish I still had my text messages. She sent it to me on text. I know we drink too much and blah, blah, blah. She had told me that George one time had enrolled in AA and was getting help. Now, whether that was any truth, I have no idea. A lot of stuff like that I just take with a grain of salt.
Right.
You know, I think she was more concerned about the image that was being put in my head for them, and I think she was just trying to paint a prettier picture.
Right.
Because I will say, it was like a week later, she was drunk. And when we go, you know, inspecting the property and walking around different projects, we do a lot of pressure washing throughout the year. We did that a couple of times. You know, I ride around the back sides of the buildings, checking everything out. We've got a property drainage system back there. You always knew, because you'd ride back there and you'd hear 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, they're drunk, falling down, cutting up. My God, I can't imagine being drunk like that all the time. Jeez.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes.
Promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
I like that even this manager has a youngest, most feral in the background going, "Arr! Do you want to see my muscles?" Arr! Just random growling in the background.
The kid heard Drunky the bear and thought, "Rrrr."
He's like, I know how to play that woman. We do that in charades all the time.
Well, this is just filed yesterday at 9:51:27 p.m. State's objection and motion in limine to exclude decedent's medical records. Tonight, the state received 550 pages of medical records regarding medical treatment the decedent received in 2017 and 2018. The defendant acquired these records in January 2022. The state adopts all the arguments and authorities cited in the state's motion in limine to exclude battered spouse syndrome evidence or exclude mention of battered spouse syndrome evidence until the defendant testified to a justifiable use of deadly force. Remember, we read that motion earlier where they said they can't put it in there because there's no signs of any of that, and she will have to take the stand to say it.
Not only that, but Judge Kranick has admonished Owens on numerous occasions that we will not be trying this by ambush.
Yeah.
Because they just received 550 pages. They've had these records since 2022.
Yeah.
Why is and what do his past medical
Yeah, his medical
again,
records 2 years, 2 to 3 years before it happened.
yeah, I don't care if he had, health problems related to chronic drinking. It was still being locked in a suitcase, getting a fairly, severe head wound, and being locked in a suitcase that killed him.
Yeah. It's not that he had bad lungs because he was smoking too much. It was because he was in a suitcase and his lungs couldn't contract enough to ventilate his blood. Probably, I would guess. The defendant, even in her most recent iteration of what happened on February 23rd, has not set forth the legal grounds to claim self-defense, assuming that she does so at trial with a different version of events than prior incidents of violence committed by the decedent that she was aware of would be admissible to show the reasonableness of her fear in imminent great bodily harm or death. These records are irrelevant. 487 pages regarding an incident on December 24th, 2017, that's Christmas in Denmark, where the decedent was beaten so badly he needed facial reconstruction surgery. This is not relevant to whether the decedent committed a prior act of violence that the defendant was aware of occurring. If the incident that resulted in these injuries is somehow made relevant, the severity of the decedent's injuries is not relevant. If the severity of these injuries is somehow relevant, then the defendant should narrow it down to the pertinent narrative history of what the decedent said happened and the treatment provided. This could be done in a handful of pages. This is probably when he got beaten by his brother.
Yeah, and it breaks her argument that, all of the family was against her. No, one of the brothers beat the living tar out of his brother, thinking, he laid hands on you. So, as to what this has to do, I mean, this is as useful as tits on a bowl. What does this have to do with the case? Nothing.
No. And especially because it's not her who defended herself that badly that he got beaten. So he needed facial reconstruction surgery. The 2018 incident is also not relevant. The history provided by the decedent was that he put his hand through a glass window the day before, and his wife made him go to the doctor the next day. He received 2 sutures to close a 4.5 centimeter laceration. And for those of you who are wondering, because it's not in prime numbers like Americans use, it's that much. That's 4.5 centimeters. So smaller than your pinky, longer than sack.
I shouldn't giggle like a schoolgirl at that, but I'm 12. What can I say?
Yeah, well, I have my moments. Assuming that the defendant testifies in a manner to make the incident relevant, a couple of pages of these records with the narrative of what allegedly happened and the treatment provided is sufficient to corroborate her testimony. The jury with 55 pages of records, when nearly all of them are irrelevant when given the defendant every benefit of the doubt on relevancy, is unnecessary, and the probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of issues, misleading the jury, and needless presentation of cumulative evidence. Therefore, the state objects to these records, barring their relevance being established at trial and their probative value not being substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of issues, misleading the jury, and needless presentation of cumulative evidence. Which probably is right, because what, if anything, does that have, unless it says he got admitted because he had treated her like a piñata. Can't really see what.
Yeah.
Stop.
I just can't imagine again that the defense is going to try. There is a reason that the defendant is not in charge of legal strategy. if Owens would grow a pair and tell her, no, none of this is going to work.
Yeah. I sadly get the pictures.
You got the pictures of, oh, takes me a minute.
Well, maybe there will be some of that, but this is just, and again, why dump 550 pages the day of jury selection when you have had them since 2022? It's just another tactic to try and muddle the water. It's yeah. Could this trial get any more ridiculous? Owens could get sick and Sarah would have to go pro se. That could be more ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought that Judge Cranick is, a reasonable judge. He doesn't seem like he gets too stern. He always backs things up. He, in fact, watched the entire interrogation to be well informed of everything. And for Owens to continue on in a fashion that is not professional, I don't know why he took this case. This seems so. If you want to have national media exposure, wouldn't you want to look not like a moron? Or does any attention work?
I think we talked about it yesterday. He wanted that plea deal, and then he could go out on court TV and say, I saved this woman from life in prison. She will be out now in only 8 years. And the family of Jorge Torres will now finally be able to have closure. I know this case has been overhyped in the media, but the important part is we got justice for Torres, and we showed that America has the greatest justice system, as I went in pro bono being paid and fought for this woman's rights, even if she was up for second-degree manslaughter. I, as she should have been, got it down to manslaughter. The state clearly overcharged her, but luckily I got on the case and saved this woman from life in prison. I can be reached at Owens
Probably
Best Lawyer on YouTube, where I will be covering cases from tomorrow. Like, sub, and share my channel. Super chats will be up and running as soon as I have my hours. Until then, my Venmo is open. Please share. That's the press conference he had in his mind. I bet you.
I bet. Yeah, I bet he was like, DV is a real scourge, and Sarah Boone, case, she brings light to that. And if she had taken the plea deal, they could still, basically defame George at any point and say this was all about a scared woman who was terrified, that a simple game of hide and seek was going to end in her, imminent danger. Although she did kind of say in her last interview that she was full Boudica, like live, die, I don't care. She's full Spartan with your shielder on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he could have, we had 2024, he could have done the full spiel on it, saying, even though she's clearly a DV victim, we don't recognize the fear that Jorge put her in. But I saved her from an unfair life in prison. And yes, even though technically you couldn't claim battered spouse syndrome, I got her the best possible solution because she was going away from murder too, and I got it down to only manslaughter because the law doesn't recognize how women suffer in 2024. He would have the biggest YouTube channel tomorrow.
To be fair, Baker, you would think he would have done just cursory research after he saw the flyer. Like, this is a cool flyer. Let's see how she acts, anytime.
Yeah.
And then I would have said, and this is going in the shredder.
Sarah's suitcase Boone is not famous in the US. Yes, it's a high-profile case, but we have a lot of crimes in Florida that people forget about the last one murder with the new one. Well, this is kind of a big case because it's been on for, well, it's been in YouTube fame for almost a year and a half. We've been looking at this for a long time. But you're right. When this is done, and that's what we do, which is kind of to the detriment of us. When this case is done, I'm gonna go cover Courtney Clenny or Jack Johnson up in Waukesha, wherever that is, and who thought about using his brother's head as a battering ram, and I'll be moving on. She'll be forgotten, but a lot of people are looking at this YouTube. Go look at some of the cases who really blew up, and I bet you he was thinking, this is going to make me into Know Your Lawyer. I know. Emily D. Baker,
Yeah.
Pre-Vacation Brigada. I'm going to be a millionaire off this case, as Sarah promised me. But what he doesn't understand is the next case you're covering is Quentin Nixon out of Ohio, where the inbuilt audience is low, so you have to make your own audience follow you to the next case, and that's the hard part of being a YouTuber. It's not covering a Karen Reed, Hales, a Sarah Boone, a Courtney Clenny. That's easy.
Yeah.
When you're sitting next week covering John Johnson, well, not that John Johnson, but some ever. That's the hard part, because you have to get people over there, and I think there's a lot of people who doesn't understand that all that inbuilt audience. Oh my God! Now I get the notifications.
Your phone's like giving you notifications for the last 2 months or
Yeah,
6 months.
because I've turned. Oh, I have
Don't you? I'm triggered.
I'm treating you like Owens treated the judge.
Well, that's
Can I finish?
he went full Ross Perot, and I was like, "Can I finish?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you watched SNL too?" I was almost on his side, but then he wasn't fun like Ross Perot.
Was that weird little skinny dude?
Yeah, had big ears. Was from Texas. I can't remember what his platform was because I think I was about 9.
You want to see the coolest thing you've seen in your entire life?
Sarah Boone, Lady Attorney.
Yes, she just did that.
I'm surprised she didn't do. I mean, is it really a fist bump if you don't, do this when you come out? It's an explosion, or at least that's what my youngest, most ferals have taught me.
I just wanted her to do this.
Oh my gosh, they have a secret asshole handshake. I'm so proud of them.
Look at that blonde in the background. Why is she looking at her, and then she starts, oh, she must be so funny. And
well, I think Owens is her boss, so she's like, oh yeah, no, that's quirky and cute, not ridiculous and stupid.
Oh, I have the best boss on the planet. He is so fun with his modern takes of the youth movements. Thank you, Marissa. Jeebus.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. I'll go to confession or somewhere.
Waukesha is Wisconsin. Okay, well, I knew the name. That blonde girl is Owen's daughter, Sarah. Oh my.
Is that why he took the case? He's like, I have to protect another Sarah. He didn't realize what he was getting into.
She just looked at her like, oh. But maybe she liked him.
State is from
I'm going to take a bio break.
2020. The time now is approximately
Okey-dokey.
45 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. I'm currently located at
4704
4704 Lucier Court. In Winter Park, Florida, 32792 at the Tealwood Park Apartments complex in the front office. Also with me is, can you state your name, sir?
Abraham Moreno.
Okay, and your date of birth? So with me is my partner, Detective Scott Lowen with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Okay, Abram, prior to us going on recording, I was informed by Melissa, who's the property manager, that you knew George Torres.
Correct.
And you were explaining that you knew him from Philadelphia when he was smaller.
Yes.
And then now you, I guess,
Reconnected.
reconnected
When I started working here in October
in October of last year?
of last year.
Of 19. Okay. So you said that you last saw him, you said it was last Tuesday?
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday. Okay, thank you. So last Thursday was the 20th?
Correct.
Sound about right? Okay. Now, what can you tell me about George and Sarah's relationship?
They had on and off rocky relationship, which was physical on occasions. I'm aware of the fact that George had a probation officer. He was in anger management. And again, they had their good times, their bad times. Sometimes he would instigate the situations. Majority of the times, Sarah Boone instigated the situations. And she ended up with bruises. But that's more of him like kind of pushing her off of himself.
Okay. And that's what he told you?
Yes.
Okay.
And she verified it as well.
Sarah verified with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did they both drink a lot?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
In excess.
What?
In excess. They didn't drink to drink. They drank
Great
to
band.
sunrise to sunset.
Well,
All
yeah.
the time in between.
Okay. Did you ever see them physically fight?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen them physically argue?
I've seen them argue,
Okay.
but no physical contact.
Right. Has George confided in you about Sarah? About anything she's, I know you said that they both, sometimes
He notified me. He had told me on a couple of occasions where she called the police on him and had him put out. A couple of times he ended up getting arrested over it. And that she was the reason why he was taking the anger management courses. So, because a couple of weeks ago, he was still working at the hardware store on the corner until they closed.
Right.
And that's where me and him would have more of our conversations than anything else. I'm going there to get stuff. Now it's just me and him, one-on-one.
Right.
She's not there to create this situation.
Okay. And so, just correct me if I'm wrong, you said that sometimes he would instigate it and sometimes she would instigate it?
Yes.
Okay. And he admitted to that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when, did he confide in you about like their last physical argument or fight?
The last physical fight that they had, she mentioned it to me, Melissa, and Mr. G when she got arrested. When we were all.
Melissa, what did you do?
Me?
No, Melissa.
Oh, I was like, I don't know, probably everything, but I mean, not that you can prove.
Yeah. Pictures, it didn't happen.
And Mr.
Well,
G,
yeah.
when she got arrested.
But apparently everyone gets told everything. And at some point, and I'm going to say this from the bottom of my heart, as a divorced man, you can live a very happy life not being with a person who brings you no joy. You don't have to stick it out just because, well, she's sitting on the couch. You can say, no, I think it'll be better for you and I, if and especially if you have kids involved. Hasta la taco and out of there.
Yeah, and there's nothing saying that you can't, co-parent as well as you can with a banshee. You try and do your best. You love your kids more than you hate your ex, and that's about all you can do.
Yeah. And the kids would be happier for you when you're older that they didn't grow up in an abusive relationship.
And now I'm going to take a bio break since you're back.
Fine.
We're all standing outside, and she's like, I want to speak to you. And she walked over to an officer and said, is it okay if she speaks to us? They said we would prefer not, but that is her choice.
Right.
We did not ask her any questions. She had told us that a couple of days ago they got into a fight where he grabbed her by her hair and dragged her down the steps.
Okay.
And that would probably be a day or two before this situation happened.
Before the situation?
With the suitcase.
Okay, so when did you talk? When was that?
She was talking to us outside Monday afternoon.
Oh, Monday. Okay. I thought you said the last time she got arrested, and I'm like...
No, when she got arrested, when everybody was at her door.
When we were investigating.
When you were doing your investigation.
Please don't say anything against this female detective, because I got a lot of... I got one complaint that I was ragging on this female detective and the way the female detective was speaking, because apparently
the eyebrows are in. The eyebrows and the stash are in. Sorry. But it's, I mean, these are full on angry eyebrows, and I am here for it. And I get a mustache, which I was already working on, with perimenopause, but
yeah, but now you can see how you'll look in 5 years.
I know. I might add a goatee, see how I feel about that. Just not a soul patch.
We have a lovely lady that goes to my gym. She has a bigger beard than I do, and she's not a modern woman. She is a female, if whatever that means these days. But and it's long and it's very gray, and she has a dark complexion, so it's very, very noticeable. But no, I was just saying I got an
accurate dwarf.
Yes.
Okay.
But I was just getting complaints because I complained about the female. Funny that they didn't say the detectives; it was the female. It's an annoying Kelly girl voice she has, and that is something you can work on.
The upward inflection when you're not asking a question. When I am voted president, that will be outlawed.
Yeah, and if you have to start every sentence with a we had a politician who did that once. Oh,
that's it.
Don't wear those to bed tonight. Mr. Mo will, number 7 will be there.
These are now my new favorite thing. $4 can buy you happiness on Amazon.
It's long. That's what she said. Sadly, not to me or Zach. But no, I know that politician, when he got out of politics and started having as all politicians, he got a cushy job in some overpaid NGO, and then he learned to talk normally because now he didn't have to think on his feet, so he didn't have to say to buy himself time, and it's just a stupid coping thing that you do if you can't think on your field. I am male chauvinist pig. Thank you, and I'm proud.
Your investigation, because you was typing in the car.
Okay.
She was talking to us outside. There was a young officer at the door who heard the conversation.
Okay.
Because he was only but 20 feet away.
Okay. So she told you what again? One more time.
That they had gotten into a fight. He grabbed her by the hair and dragged her down the steps.
2 days prior?
Probably about 2 days prior to that situation.
So that would be Saturday.
Yeah, over the weekend, yes.
Over the weekend.
Whatever took place over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
Then she told us that they were playing hide and seek. He went in the suitcase. She zipped it up. And then she went upstairs and passed out.
did he ever confide in you, like, what he did, like, for fun, besides, like, the drinking? Like, is there other activities that he did? Did he ever tell you, like, oh, I'm trying to get into this?
Yeah, I like to do puzzles, paintings, and suitcases.
Avoid Sarah. That's mainly what I do for fun.
Yeah, my fun, getting her so drunk she sleeps.
What's he, a Sagittarius or a Taurus or you know, one of those other signs?
Yeah.
They actually used to do a whole lot of arts and crafts inside of and they did a lot of it with her son. Kind of, there was a perfect relationship, but they tried, I guess, in their own way.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else that he would tell you about him and Sarah's relationship?
Yes, everyone can be a witness for the defense. They can just call them. Just remember what he said. Sarah told me.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to go back and say, is Sarah a trustworthy witness? Because this is what Sarah told him happened 2 days before the incident, that he dragged her by the hair down the stairs. So, again, it depends on how trustworthy you find the witness and Sarah as a witness. So, this story, yes, it sounds good for the defense, but again, on cross-examination, you can punch holes in this as well.
Relationship that you think is important for us to know?
Hey, Carry to Crime.
I think you actually know it all. They just had a very rocky physical relationship. On and off.
Did you ever see marks?
I don't know astrology all that well.
Like what?
Scratches on the neck.
Scratches.
Is it when it's her?
Anything she said to another person that
that's
heard
related to the crime isn't hearsay because she's a part of it. But anything someone else told you is here. I can never figure out those hearsay because no, you're not allowed to tell you what she told you, but you're allowed to tell what he told you because he can't talk for himself. Isn't that how it is?
So I think anything you didn't directly say, like, so say I saw you take a cookie from the cookie jar and you told me and confessed all of it to me, or you confessed to another friend and then that friend told me what you had said. I think that's double hearsay. I don't know. I just know that it's not allowed.
Yeah, I know it's not. I know it's not called this one, but yeah, she's a party to the case, so it should be an exception to the hearsay rule.
I love that we have lawyers in chat that can tell us what we're, because we're like, you know, that's a good question. Let me go see what Wikipedia says.
What is jury? That's a weird word. Never heard that before. No, I think when it's a party to the case, you can, because you saw it with the Karen Reed case. She was saying this, she was saying that, she was saying that. Did anyone confirm that? No. I was the only one hearing it from the 25 people standing right next to her. But everyone can put that in there. So yes, her statements are admissible because she's a party opponent. That's the word I was looking for. And in 5 minutes, Jess will send me a text saying, actually.
As I said, with her attacking him, he's kind of just
trying to stop.
The trial starts as soon as they have a jury seated. The latest we heard is they called 100 people yesterday. 11 went through the first elimination round. 50 more will be called today. The judge wants 6 plus, I believe 4, because it's a 3-week trial and he needs some alternates if something happens. So Most likely tomorrow. Most likely.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't see him if they get all the jurors sat
Right,
today.
but
I don't see Owens being ready to do an opening statement.
No.
I see
no.
Owens asking, like, can we wait till tomorrow? I want everyone on a fresh, footing. Let's let everyone go home.
Yeah. Can she take a shower?
Well,
Yeah, it depends
yeah.
who calls the witness. If the state does, then party opponent. If the defense does, then no exception met. Yeah, so they can't get in a positive statement as hearsay. So, well, I'm sorry, Jemima. I won't let it happen again. 50 in the morning and afternoon. Did they get no? I thought that I read they were only calling 50 more today. They had 100 yesterday, and I think 50 again today. So
He
yeah.
might be. Well,
Thank you all,
considering
Margaret.
how much trial and publicity, he might just be. Some people might be on call. Like if we give you a call at 9 a.m., just assume you're going to be coming into court.
Yeah. Well, he told them yesterday, don't look at news, don't do anything. We have to protect his trial because it's a highly, and they do that in every trial, but so many people have heard about it. So he made sure everyone knew yesterday.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a real issue if any juror is shown, doing their own research. But I generally think that it's, really, if you are picked for jury duty, they can pretty much, figure out that you are, there for the right reasons. They have a chance to strike you, and you do set yourself up for, penalties and almost, crimes because you have, raised your hand and said you will do all the things and not do all the things.
Yeah. And Marissa has been a member for 10 months and demands more fist bumps. It could be cool if every day they just met in court and say, oh, how you doing, fellow kid?
Yes. Owen rides in on a skateboard. I could see that.
They had 23 jurors already today. I was listening to the news from yesterday, and they said 11 yesterday. So if they had 12 more already, thank you, because then we can be going after lunch. So we better get through this if we're going after lunch. Goal is to go into preempted those things with 50 to go down to 14. Preemptory challenges with 50. Oh, and then go down to 14. Yeah. Well, if they have 23 now, then they're halfway there. Oh, we're halfway there. Ooh, living
with Drunky Bear.
Well, yeah.
That's never not going to be funny now. I'm just going to be like, yeah, this year for Halloween, I am Drunky the Bear.
I should dress up for that. I'm going on Halloween with Friday Night Live next Friday, so I could be Drunky the Bear. Just straddling a bush and yelling at a neighbor.
Although, I would like to see those lashes back. You, as Jamie, you rock those lashes and almost glued your eyeballs shut.
It hurt my eyes so bad for the next 3 days. It was hell.
Jamie makes it look good.
As soon as he touched it,
yeah, I don't. I can't figure it out.
Right. Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed or if it's been before, but the door, there's like a bunch of markings on the door. Have you ever noticed that or no?
On which door?
Their door.
Their front door, the very front metal door.
I haven't looked at it.
Okay.
But I know if I was to look at it, I could probably tell you what it was.
Okay. We're just curious if, like, since you had been working here, if you noticed it or saw it.
No, because they had keys. Now, they probably slamming doors back and forth and having arguments. I know of one where her ex-husband showed up. Mm-hmm. But that would probably be around November.
I like that
And
he's
you,
like, I'm a door mark
has he ever
expert.
talked to you about any damage inside the apartment?
Yeah.
That he needed help fixing that you could.
We met at the hardware store. I can tell you just by looking at the door
Have
who
you ever
kicked
really
what.
been inside their apartment?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he was listening to Weird Al's Handy.
Basic work order.
He's like, I'm
Like
so
change
handy.
the verticals, patch up,
Have
touch
you
up
seen any
things.
damage that looks like it was caused by either one of them?
Not that I can say, it just looks like normal wear and tear of a unit.
Well, I noticed on the first floor there's a half bath there.
Yes.
There's like 2 or 3 patches on that door. Do you know anything about those patches?
No, not the door. I did the patchwork in the ceiling, and that was due to a leaking air conditioner. The door would have to have been super recent.
One night. I did hear about that.
Sarah patched her own holes. I mean,
She excels
I could
at
take that
everything.
joke a couple ways.
And you said Sarah has Sarah confided in you where George was not there? Or is it like,
the most she ever did was, oh, we're fighting, we're arguing. He's always arguing with his ex-wife over the phone. I just tried not to get in the middle of that.
Did you know his ex-wife, or was that prior?
Oh, that's well after.
That's
Because I lived down the street from George,
for how long?
93 to 2005.
So he would have started at, you said 14,
Yeah,
so he would have been into his mid-20s.
yeah, but it was me and my wife. And trust me, she works for DHS.
Okay.
She's a child service kid.
Right.
My son is a Philadelphia police officer. Different circles altogether.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. How well did you know him up there?
Oh, not like I said, to me, he was just a teenager running around with the other kids. And
See him at the corner store.
Well, we never know until she takes the stand. But the state is saying if she wants to use the battered spouse syndrome, then she will have to take the stand and testify to that, or else the judge will have to put a motion in limine. They can't use the battered spouse syndrome defense. So, because she have changed her story so many times now during these 4 years. So she will probably most likely take the stand. And how terrible of an idea will that be? Do you remember New Coke? It's
Crystal
probably
Pepsi.
as bad as idea as New Coke. That almost cost Coke their business. It's gonna be unbelievable, and I'll be here for it every day. And everyone, if you are in Europe and you understand a bit of Deutsch, go and check out Alles nur geklaut, German YouTuber who does what is the most amazing part. I do the translation in my head and just speak English. He listens to the testimony and almost simultaneously translated into German.
Oh, wow. So you say that Glout? See, because I would have said
Alles nur geklaut.
Glout.
Geklaut.
Oh.
All is stolen. No,
Oh.
geklaut. Yeah, isn't it all is stolen? Yeah. Yeah, she has to testify if she want to rely on battered spouse. So that's going to be clear Pepsi and New Coke mixed together. But he does make voices. Yesterday he was doing Jodi Arias on the stand when she talked about her immaculate memory of what had happened that day when her boyfriend came out of the shower and started doing all the stuff to her, and he had a Jodi voice. So I can only recommend if you and he normally does it at 9 o'clock real people time, 8 o'clock British time, banana American time. Probably not that many in our Americans who speak German. But if you like a little nightly entertainment, I normally watch him before I go to bed. So go give Alles nur geklaut a little look.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out because I want to hear a German Jody voice and a German Sarah
Well,
voice.
he
when
takes a new
gets
case almost every day, but it's just fascinating that because again, I have to think in Danish and speak in English, but he listens to the English and speaks it in German instantly.
wow.
I'll be hard for me to do in Danish.
I can barely translate my own speaking into English.
Yeah. Thank you, Danny T, for subscribing. Can someone share a link for Alle Snukke Cloud if they didn't do it already? But again, go give him a little likey poo. Share the love. Because one love. What's that
Oh my
song?
gosh, you should go as a pastafarian for Halloween.
Then I would need
No, you would need spaghetti because you're a pastafarian, not a Rastafarian.
Oh yeah, those weird people. Yeah, and a colander on my head.
You know, you have dinner in a costume.
Like, well, literally on the block, because I lived here. My brother-in-law across the street was my ex-wife's aunt, and then George.
Okay.
So it was.
My pleasure. Great channel. I enjoyed going over there. I tried to write in German. My German is really, really bad. I can kind of hack my way through speaking German, but writing it, no.
And her mother lived across the street, so restaurants. So no matter where you go, everybody sees each other.
Now down here, was it just coincidence you got the job here? I was walking through and ran into him and went,
Yep.
holy cow. Okay.
That's literally what happened. It was like, whoa, real small world.
Do you ever go out, hang out with them, have dinner, go drinking? The only time we've ever seen them is when you're at work, either here on this property or
when I go to the
He's like, no, I saw that circus and said no.
Did you ever stay out there and hang out in the apartment?
That one-legged clown riding that unicycle. I'm not getting near that. Eddie, then go watch it, because one of the things I have learned, because I don't use German anymore, but listening to it, it comes back. So go listen to it.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about
I confirm.
True and accurate to
I
the
will
best of
confirm. I do not swear.
You confirm that everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? Okay.
His land boat. Well, so maybe he's deeply religious and he doesn't want to swear on anything that involves the government, but it just seems like a weird hill to die on.
Yeah, it's
okay. Also in a car.
It's one of those where you're sitting there thinking, yeah, it's not that important. But who am I to judge? Well, I do that when I do jury duty. But other than that, yeah, it's Yanks. Don't think about it, Vanilla. Well, he has the English running in the background. That's why it's good. So you get the simultaneous, so you can get follow along. So everyone should go learn German. I might have forgotten more German than was taught to. Get over there tonight. Listen to him.
But you're a beautiful blonde, Fedorowski, and, you know, that works too.
Yeah, you have the bangs for it.
You really do.
The last one is interrogation of Brian Boone. Her ex-husband, phone her of, remember to pick up your kids. And the guy who was smart enough to stop at the doorstep and say, nope, call 911. Rather speak Spanish, it's easier. Well, if we only did what's easy. No, I can't say that because that's how I got kids. Never mind.
With me is my partner,
Scott Lowen, Detective of the Sheriff's Office.
And your name, sir?
Brian, 75.
Okay. So, Brian, to my understanding, you were called over here. So can you just take me back to this morning and your involvement with Sarah, which is your ex-wife?
Yes. Yes. We've been divorced about a year and a half.
Okay.
I started calling her probably 10:30 or so. It's her day to pick up the kid, but doesn't always happen. 1 or 2 days a week, maybe she gets them.
Out of the 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
and what do you, like every other day you're supposed to?
Well, we're supposed to. She's Monday, Tuesday, I'm Wednesday, Thursday, and we alternate Friday through Sunday. So I'm supposed to. I was actually, my lawyer back a couple weeks ago, because I was looking to get a change because she can never stick to it. There's always some reason why. So it's general that I start calling her around to find out if she's actually going to get him, even though yesterday she told me she would. So I started calling her about 10:30. Never got any answer until... So I finally got a hold of her at 12:49.
And did she call you or you call her?
No, I called her. I called her at 11:25. I did that twice. I always call twice because generally she's asleep or whatever. And
imagine just being, yeah, we have a kid together. I have to call her to check if she even want to see her own kid because, and yeah, I have to call her twice because she's asleep or whatever. What did she say in the interview? I woke up at around 11 and I was laying in bed with my phone. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Because Brian was trying to get a hold of you. And yeah.
Do you think Sarah picks up Brian's calls unless it's like, I wired that money to your account?
Don't speak German, but I did sub. Thank you so much, Kova. And again, the British is going on in the background, and he, as you can see, clearly understand English way better than I do. So if you type in chat in English, he will answer. And of course, as Europeans, we do understand English, but his chat is mostly in German. But a very friendly group and very nice people. So go share some love.
Yes.
Who was it with One Life, One Love?
I think that's Bob Marley.
No, it's not. It's a 90s, I believe, Dutch techno Euro thing. No, it's E17. It's E17. Yes, thank you.
Then I called her 2 more times at 12:21, and then I called her again at 12:49, and that's when she answered.
Okay.
Freaking out, saying that George was dead, and
it's House of Love.
Please come over. So I told her,
everybody in the House of Love. Everybody in the House of Love. Everybody, one love, one God. Everybody in the House of Love. Yeah.
You need to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, no, I never listened to that one.
Got my dog in his crate and everything, and started heading over here. She called me again at 12:54, asking if I was going to be coming over, if I'd left yet. I told her I had already left. I was going to be there in a couple minutes, so I got here.
I am the Dutch baker.
Knocked on the door, walked in just right in the front entrance area. Told her once again, you need to call the police.
Was she on the phone with anyone when
Not yet.
saw her?
Not yet.
Okay.
She was shaking. She was trying to get herself something to drink because she was just like freaking out. So that's when she got on the phone and called, and I said, I'm going outside.
I mean, Baker, who among us hasn't gotten their 5th of whiskey or vodka from wherever we hide it, just to call the police?
It's you go down there, someone's unalived in your living room, and you're thinking, Mai Tai sounds really good right now.
She's like, hell, this Dr. Pepper is a quarter full. I say we vodka this and then we call the doctors or the, 911.
That's somebody. Well, the dog is crying on the background. I'm going to go off screen and try and get her up and give her some love.
Because I don't really want to be in here right now. So I came outside and I sat in my car until people showed up, and it's kind of where we've gone from there.
Brian, you are one smart man.
You called her about 5 or 6 times before she answered.
Yeah, which completely normal.
Normal to you. Okay. The rotation real quick. So Monday, Tuesday, she'll have them. Wednesday, Thursday, you'll have them, and then you rotate each weekend.
Yeah, well,
like it's every other weekend.
How it's supposed to work. Generally, it's 1 or 2 times, maybe a week. I think she had him last Tuesday was the last time he was actually over here.
And spent the night?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably another week before that.
What's your son's name?
Lucas. Lukas.
L-U-K. And Boone?
Yeah.
You think he stayed here last Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was last Tuesday.
Was
Well then, okay. So you technically have him more than she does. Is that where you're getting?
Yeah, that's why I said I was.
So even though that's how it's supposed to be, you still have him.
Yeah, it's a not a good day. George is in a bad mood or whatever else reason. I think sometimes just she wants to stay up and drink and can't really do that if she's got to wake up and take her to school the next day.
Right.
Any number of different reasons. So
Brian throwing shade and honesty.
Since let's see here, I was probably 23 or so when we met.
Oh wow.
Something like that.
Since you were 23?
Yeah. So probably 20 years. We dated
She
for
always
quite a
looked
while.
47.
And then got married, whatever it was, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. Well, I guess 12, 13.
I'm not saying that you can get the fast lane to heaven, but this guy, he got the armband. He's not waiting in line. 20 years with Sarah Boone. Yeah.
Years ago before the divorce, I guess like 14, 15 ago, something like that, maybe.
Okay. What can you tell me about her?
I don't. She's generally not. She can get a bit violent when she drinks. Not to this kind of extent.
She gets a bit slap happy. That's keep her under 2 bottles and it's easy to manage her.
Yeah, and what's sad is he's downplaying what he went through for her because it's the same thing that Amber Heard, threw at Johnny Depp. No one's going to believe you. Look at how big you are and how, little Sarah is.
Yes.
But if you watch cop videos like I do, because, well, they're just fun, it takes like 5 cops to get like little 90-pound, Becca with a bad mood in the thing. But, you get one big dude and, maybe it takes 2. But I have seen these entitled teens and it takes like 5 different cops plus the hobble, like Hannibal Lecter thing. Small packages, dynamite.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that you never talk about is every one of us men have been told you never touch a woman. So if you are not an aggressive type towards women and she slaps you, you will automatically go back to, oh my F, I can't do anything. I'm not allowed to do that. My mom, my dad told me, everyone told us you can't do anything. Because I'm not saying that Freud was right in all of his things, but Sarah probably could use a good, quick adjustment slap just to snap her out of her mental state. Just like Freud recommended for ladies with a little bit of hysteria. We know what a big hysteria needed. Thank you so much, Alice Nurke-Cloud, for being a member. Then you go on the board. But that's one of the big problems in these DV cases, because if I touch you once, I go to prison. But you can beat on me and I'll just stand there. Well, you could have protected yourself. Yeah, but if I protect myself, I put you through a wall. Because I'm big, I'm strong. I don't, and we never talk about that because that's not comme il faut.
Well, true, but it is such a. He would try to leave, and that's the other thing with these really aggressive females is they will follow you as a male is trying to leave the room. Like, look, I don't want to engage. You're getting kind of, let's just cool out. And Sarah's the type that will follow, put her finger right here, and just be doing one of these things.
Yeah.
I'm just saying her transition to actual real prison is going to be not so great because there are other chicks in there that will not tolerate her level of condescension and attitude.
Yeah, she's and when she comes in there with her attitude and say, "Oh, the hair braiders is at it again," she's probably going to find out that actions has consequences, and a big mouth gets big beatings.
Yeah. I don't see it going well for her.
No.
I don't know what happened exactly.
Right. No, I'm just looking for.
But that was part of it. the alcohol has gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. That's one of the main reasons why I divorced her. I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, it got to the point where, I mean, on weekdays she'd go out, and I guess the George person is one of the people she had met, because I separated at one point, went over to my parents' house to live for a few months, and I guess she met him over at the pool place or something like that. But I'd come back and we were in therapy trying to work it out, and I mean, on a weeknight when he's got school the next day, I've got work the next day, I mean, she was out till 3 o'clock in the morning when the bar closes, and she'd bring people back over on the back porch. I mean, one time some random person walked into my house and started screaming for Sarah at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to sleep. I mean, I just couldn't get over it.
So did you still live here?
No. I bought her out of our house.
Okay.
I was going to just sell it and move because I kind of wanted to go back to College Park, which is where I'm from. But I thought it would be maybe easier for Lucas if I just bought her out and kept that house, so he had a little bit of continuancy, kind of.
Understandable.
So that's what I ended up doing, and then she moved right down the street here. So.
Yeah.
And how long would you say the alcoholism has been a part of her life?
Well, I mean, it's always been a part of her life.
Right after she didn't land that
It seemed to
Nickelodeon
have gotten
show.
worse and worse. I think more or less kind of since we had Lucas. And I think a lot of it was the fact that she kind of, I guess, maybe felt trapped or something.
Okay.
That
Oh, I can't wait till some people come and say it's postpartum. That's you have to let her go. She's postpartum. Isn't that postpartum? What is it called when the ladies go crazy after birth?
Well, it can be postpartum, but this is peak selfishness.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you know those people will come who said, well, she clearly has untreated postpartum depression, so she actually didn't do it.
I think it would be a stretch to go down that because most moms don't drink because they're sad because they have a child and they can't go out and drink.
I don't know if you know YouTube, but there's a lot of stretching going on.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you can always take that approach, but will it come off as genuine, and will it do anything for actual mothers who deal with postpartum? The answer is no. So,
but those likes and
you do
clicks are nice.
you, but
Yeah.
But I mean, have fun with that.
I mean, before that, I mean, whenever she wanted, you're outside having a drink. Oh, I want to go play pool. You go over across the street, you play pool for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore once you got a kid.
Right.
So.
How old's your son?
He is 9. So, but I mean, she started just getting really angry when she drank a lot. She said last night she fell asleep. There were plenty of times where she just basically passed out from drinking. So,
you've witnessed her pass out from drinking?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's like,
and when
every
she
day
passes
that
out,
ends
is
with
she
why?
like out cold? Like how difficult would it be to like wake her?
Well, I mean, if I were to like shake her or something, I could probably wake her up. But me making a phone call or noise probably wouldn't do it.
Okay. And would she be like in the middle of?
Yes, she only had him. I think they had an agreement. Did he say 2 out of 5 days, and most times she would cancel it because, mom's got drunk again.
They technically had like 50-50 custody. I think he was the sole like residential parent, but they were supposed to be as close to 50-50. Now, the 11th time that you leave your kid at school because it's a school day,
Mom just got the bad dog pepper.
Yeah. And
Mom allergic to Dr. Pepper.
Lucas got into those Dr. Peppers sometimes thinking they were just a pop.
Yeah.
This poor kid. And nothing is more heartbreaking. I mean, yes, George is sad and it's the main reason we're here, but Lucas knew that he wasn't important in his mom's life, that everything else would come before him, especially drinking. And ew, just as a mom, ew.
Yeah,
but she's not a mom, she's an incubator.
Yeah, she, as we said, everyone can become a parent, but it takes a lot to be it. Yeah, and remember, he's mentioned on the defense witness list, allegedly, He's probably on the states too. We heard yesterday that they provided 50 people on the state's witness list. Not sure everyone is going to take the stand, but still, this just shows that this wasn't a new thing, that she was hammered drunk all the time. And you can listen to the voice in the video. She's so drunk that she would even have sex with me.
No, don't sell yourself short. She'd put you in a suitcase first.
Well, is it like a sex thing?
Again, as the defense, she should have started with. I don't understand this hide and seek thing. Like, the only way he can, perform is if he's in a small confined space without me.
Her kid is, at this time, he will be almost 14 years old. He was 9 at the time.
Doing something and just like out cold, or would she go to bed?
Yeah, it would
be out cold?
Yeah, she wouldn't like fall over or anything. It would be more of a lay down and then she just out.
Right. Okay. What do you know about her and George's relationship, if anything?
It was. I mean, I think she had him arrested like 5 or 6 times for domestic violence. I mean, he's stuck a steak knife in the back of her leg one time.
I bet a lot of the chicks in this chat would do you, Baker. Well, Lefty, I only got eyes for you. Thank you so much.
Okay. He's been arrested. So has he always been the one that gets arrested, or has she ever?
She was also one of the times.
Okay.
One of the times, both of them were arrested. But all the others have been him.
Brian got a
The very next
cupcake.
day, she's in there trying to get it bailed out. So
Right.
I don't know. Basically, they get drunk, they get in a fight, she gets upset, she calls the cops. I mean, granted, I saw lots of black eyes, bruises.
On her?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, there definitely was. Now,
would you see George as much as you would see him or her?
I hardly ever saw him.
You hardly.
I honestly, I didn't like being around either one of them.
Right.
To be honest, and him more so. So,
Why's that?
just I don't know. It's my ex-wife. She made me really mad with everything. How the whole divorce went down, and just, I mean, the way she acted and the way she changed, and the way they both are. I mean, what it's done to Lucas and everything else. He's nobody I cared to see. Let me put it that way. I mean, it's not like I really went out of my way to like. It's just.
When you guys do drop-offs or anything, is it always through the school, or would you like have to come here and see them, or no?
No, it's pretty much always during the school. Now, sometimes she would come over or something like that. Sometimes he would be driving, but I mean, he would just stay in the car. She would come in. So, I mean, I really wouldn't see him.
So it's not like you have like conversations with George. Okay.
No, I mean, maybe a few times when they've drunkenly called me at night because she was telling me she needed to escape because of whatever's going on, or she's put him on the phone, but I don't know.
When's like the last incident that you recall of there being like a domestic dispute between her and George?
I mean, she told me like a week ago she had to escape from the house and wanted me to come pick her up. I told her I wasn't going to because I'm just tired of it happening. I mean, it was midnight. I mean, child was trying to sleep, and just honestly, I don't always believe her when she said these things were going on. And
she called you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, apparently she went back inside and slept well. Was in a fine mood the next day. I guess didn't really remember calling me, so I don't know if it was just she wanted to come over to. I don't know. She keeps on trying to come over to like hang out or something like that, or she'll come over to spend time with Lucas rather than actually just having him over here like she's supposed to. But she wants to come over there and play with him. And so I'm not sure how real that was. Last time I know there was an actual physical confrontation. It's probably been a little while because this last time George got arrested, I know he was on free trial, whatever, something. I don't know. He had a parole officer. He had a domestic violence class. He's like.
So that's the last time. Basically, the last time he was arrested was the last physical altercation that you recall.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I think so.
Remember, Julie, she always claims it's George, so people will tend to believe her because, again, he's a man, she's a woman, even though she's way bigger than he is. It's those mean men who does everything bad. Catherine Mary Knight, she unalive, skilled, professional butcher. Well, interesting.
And she had the feminine grace of a young Janet Reno. She looked like a linebacker for the Bears. That was an insane case. But yeah, she She was a handsome woman.
The Bears could use a linebacker. They don't have the best defense.
And you have any idea what year or month that may have been?
Back a few months, maybe.
A few months ago?
Yeah, something like that, maybe. I don't think it was incredibly long.
Okay. Like around the holidays of last year, before the holidays?
I think it was probably before the holidays. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Because oddly enough, there was like a 3-week period where she actually had Lucas all the time she was supposed to because he was in jail for a month or something like that.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't let him out.
Yeah. And you said when she drinks that she can get physically aggressive.
She can. I mean, she did it to me a lot where she'd hit me and stuff like that. I mean, she's tiny. I mean,
What do you mean hit though? Like open hand smack you or like try to punch you?
Yeah, she'd punch me. I mean, more arms. She many times would use her claws. I mean, I had scratches on my neck at times, on my arms. I mean, things like that where she'd dig with her claws.
Okay.
I never got that drunk and I had restraint. I never touched her back. I think George didn't have that restraint, and at times he would hurt her back. So for all I know, all the times he got arrested, she started it. I don't know. I wasn't there, so but I know she could get violent at times.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. It wasn't anything too, I don't know, too much. I mean, just
right. Yeah. I mean, you don't feel like she was a huge threat. I'm assuming, right? No. Yeah. Like you could handle yourself.
Yes.
Does she drink daily?
I think pretty much.
Okay. Do you know like her drink of choice?
That would be vodka.
Vodka.
Or wine, but vodka is the big one.
And does she or George have a job?
No. She hasn't worked for over 2 years. Well, I guess you could maybe call when he's got a job. He worked at the Ace Hardware up across the street here.
Okay.
Which is now like out of business.
Okay.
He kind of off and on worked there. When he did work, it was 15, 20 hours a week, something like that. I mean, my alimony and stuff basically pays for where they live. So, I mean, they didn't need a ton, but I mean, she was always calling to borrow money. And but it's been like 2 years since she got a job. She keeps on telling me she's looking. She's always finding good opportunities and everything, but
she excels at.
Do you want to take it?
It's my dad. Just one second. Hey.
That's your ring for your dad?
Well, just wait. I'm talking with the detectives right now.
Even Molly's confused.
I should be heading out here soon. Someone come get him, okay?
He sounds very level-headed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, is he awake? Okay, good. Okay, well, I should be up there very soon. Okay, bye. Sorry.
Okay. We were just on the phone with someone. Okay. When you came over here, I know you said that she called you freaking out saying he was dead. Did she give you any more, like, did you ask why or how?
She told me that they were playing last night or something, and he got in the suitcase and she fell asleep.
Okay.
That's all she told me, so I don't know anything beyond that.
Okay.
And I really didn't talk to her much because I came inside. I told her you need to call the police, and then I came back out, and I think she went on the back porch to smoke a cigarette, so I didn't even really talk with her much.
Oh, like she was going outside. Did you see her take a cigarette?
Yeah, she was going outside with well, I also know when the cops showed up, she kept on telling them she had a cigarette burning out there and she needed to go put it out.
Okay.
But they were keeping her away from stuff, I guess.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, she wanted me to come back there with her. I was like, I'm going out here. I don't really want to be in here, so.
Right.
He's a smart guy.
That's when she went to call 911.
Well, she called 911 while I was in there. I was standing right in the foyer area.
Okay.
And I mean, it was apparently a pretty quick conversation, and that's when she started to go that way. And I just told her I'm going out front. So.
Okay. Okay. So they were playing, and she went upstairs and went to bed.
I don't know where she went. She just told me she went to sleep.
She went to sleep. Okay. You don't know where.
I don't know where.
You didn't ask more questions.
I didn't ask more questions. I leave that to you guys.
Yeah. No problem.
Oh my lord!
Hey, I'll let you know when I'm done talking to these guys. Okay.
Hey, expert.
That's okay. All right. Never mind. Okay. Bye. I'll call you when I'm leaving.
I don't know what that music is, but just to make sure
get
that
another call.
I'm just turning off the audio from the feed just to make sure that we don't get any.
Oh, you're right. I do love where he's just like, look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want,
Well,
I didn't want any part of this.
Yeah. Yeah, we are the great ones, but you never invite Mo for Friday Night Live. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is a commitment. I have to plan those out because I know that my youngest, most feral, will want me to get up and be functional at 5 a.m. as well. And I know after, like the green room after can go for forever. So I need to plan those out.
Just do like me. Just either come early or come late. And then you don't have to be there for all the 3 hours.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And no, I don't always come early.
No, not today.
Oh, other today. Before
It's
today.
mostly late.
I'm trying to remember if I've been in there. I haven't even really been over here lately.
So it's been a long time.
It's probably been at least weeks, maybe.
Does Lucas play baseball or anything yet?
We've tried to get him into sports. He's not a big sports person, really.
Did you ever play baseball?
He didn't play baseball. Well, I mean, I had him like a t-ball set and stuff like that, and we'd play catch.
Is it like a plastic t-ball set, or what kind of equipment did you have?
Oh, no, this is when he was like 3 years old. It was a little plastic thing I had in the backyard.
Did you ever buy him any baseball bats or anything?
I bought one for over here that Sarah said for Lucas and George to like play with or something. That was...
What? Is she demanding snacks in court? What the?
How is this woman not a cartoon character? How is she a real live human?
Can I get some water? Can I get some snacks? I prefer.
I mean, the fact that she didn't pull one of these since her shirt's, completely unbuttoned, and she didn't just pull out the cheese slices, like I got myself.
Yeah. Oh, Judge, you didn't provide yesterday, so I got my own snacks. Thank you so much, Judge. That's ugh. And there's the intro to the baseball bat. Yep. I don't know where people are seeing that. She can bring her cheese. She wants cheese charcuterie. It's from the lovely little D who gave me this shirt.
That was like a year ago or something, maybe.
What kind of bat was it? Was it a wood bat?
Yeah, it was a wooden bat.
Katie Russo, initially stricken for cause 29. 21 remain potential from the morning pool. Jurors brought in individual for follow-up questioning. So more than half has already gone for the first 50.
Yeah, I think it's like a junior size thingy. I don't know. It's something that I look like kind of for his height or something, I think.
All right. Sorry.
Would you mind if I took a picture of your call log to show
Sure.
that you've all the
Do you just want to see hers, or like zoomed in on hers so you can see all those?
Yeah, that's perfect. So I'd say starting from today. I know her phone.
Did you text with her at all today?
Not today. I don't think I did today at all.
Sorry.
Oh God, we don't want her to be hangry, the bear.
Hanky the
Someone
drunky
get
bear.
her a cheese stick.
Last night she was drunkenly texting me.
Last night?
Yeah.
What time?
How does he know when she's soberly
that was
texting
11
him?
o'clock at night. I think that...
It was after sunrise and sundown on a day ending in Y. She was drunk.
Yeah, I just love how he's like, she was drunkenly texting me. And I'm like, isn't that just her normal mode of text?
Last night was Sunday. What does it say?
Oh, that's Saturday. Never mind.
Saturday.
That was Saturday night when I was watching the baseball game.
Okay.
Yesterday was just that. When she said her account was in the negative, so I transferred her a little bit of money to get her out of the negative.
She sent you. Oh, that was the morning. Okay, so she thanked you at 11:56 that morning.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What's the last thank you? What time? Okay, so just a few times.
Yeah, and then that one at 12:01.
Okay, so afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's on public subsidized living, right?
No, I think she was on Brian's subsidized living.
Oh.
So his alimony was paying for their
for rent.
apartment. Yeah.
But this was the 23rd, and she was already out of money.
Well,
So-
I mean, Dark Eyes and Mad Dog 2020, if you buy in bulk, I mean, as Diddy will tell you, does get expensive.
He does kind of sound like an enabler. Or he was just beaten so far down that I bet you he's like a little. Until he got the nerves to get out of their 20 years relationship, he was a little puppy dog that she could do whatever she wanted to. Just like Molly is a little puppy dog who is licking my mouse right now. Because
and also
apparently that's
he probably knows exactly what he's going to deal with if he tells Sarah no. He is going to get 573 phone calls. His parents are going to get calls. Brian won't help me. I'm literally starving to death. You know, he knows what. And $25 to just get her to go away.
Yeah, that's a good
At
one
some
from A Bronx Tale, where he says, "How much is he owing you? $20. See it. You paid $20 for never having to talk to him again." That's a good way. My mouse. You two guys, shush now.
And then the calls. Do you need like?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yep, I'll start from the top where it has her information. Go ahead. You can scroll down. And that's fine. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Has Lucas ever told you anything about her, like witnessing anything between her and George?
He's heard arguments and things like that.
Okay.
He's not a big fan of staying over here, honestly.
Okay.
Just because they get in arguments and stuff like that. I don't think they've ever had a physical fight in front of him.
Okay.
But I know there's been arguments he's told me about.
Okay.
There's been times where I think things were starting to get to that point, and she has called me to come pick him up and bring him back over to my house. So
yeah. Okay.
She's generally pretty good about having me come get him if, which leads to me not having a wife because I can't ever do anything.
Right.
I can't go anywhere because I'm too worried about something happening and me having to be over here quickly.
Yeah. Okay, do you have anything else?
Yeah, do you know if she's ever had any issues with drugs in the past?
To my knowledge, she's never really been a drug person. She's big on alcohol, but I don't think she's ever.
She's team alky,
I mean,
not
I think
team
she told me like
dopey.
one time, like back before we got divorced, that at I don't know, this bar thing over there across the street near the Walgreens, whatever it's called.
Okay.
I've never been there, but somebody gave her a little bit of cocaine, like 2 years ago or something like that. But I've never known her to do drugs.
What about George?
Oh dear
No
Jesus
clue
in
whatsoever.
heaven. Sarah Boone
She's never
on
complained to
Colombian nose powder.
Why? I know that some guys who is into that give it to young, attractive females in hope that La Lalas de Tuna will open with that in the system. Why would you give it to Sarah Boone? I couldn't imagine her with coke mouth speaking
Okay, but
twice
maybe-
as fast and not listening to anyone.
Maybe when you're really drunk, she's a 7, when normally she's a 4. But
I have
that's
had
a lot
beer
of beer
goggles,
goggles.
and I'll tell you, at 5 a.m. in the morning, she would still be a stretch.
yeah, I don't know. This just seems like, again, we don't feed Drunky the bear. We don't feed it. That's how you get, grizzly attacks.
It's yeah, everyone is imagining Sarah yapping on about everything on coke. No, maybe she should get some devil lettuce in her. And
Oh my gosh, I would actually pay to see that, which is terrible.
no, that'll be at 8 when I woke up and found out what I found attractive at 5 a.m. Drunky the cocaine bear.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Now I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie and just imagine Sarah. Just,
Yeah, with that Playmobil
where's the-"
haircut, running up to a tree to.
Oh God, if someone could do that edit, I would watch the hell out of Cocaine Bear all the time.
Some men are willing to sleep with anything, even a 5. She would be far worse than the band of the hand. No, but again, if you have a little of the Colombian marching powder, it's not free. I know that much. It's easier to buy her 2 drinks than buy her some snorting material. It's a lot of investment in a girl like Sarah. Who wants to do that? In Denmark, it's like 800 Danish a gram, and I don't know how much you need. Maybe that's a lot, maybe it's a little. I don't know, but I can get drunk and have a pizza and take a cab home from the town for the same amount of money. So I'm not giving anyone nose candy for the same amount of money. I can almost buy I can buy a bottle of liquor in a bar for that kind of money.
Oh.
No, that's not to say these things don't happen, because I try to keep myself out of and away from them in general, but
right.
Which vehicle is yours?
The Prius right up here. Yeah.
Oh, he's driving a Prius?
What is that?
Nope, guilty.
That is what I got sent. I know it looks like a vanity thing. No, that's just this last time they, I guess, sent me a new plate, and that's what was on it.
Awesome. So you can make that up wherever you want.
Oh God, what does his license plate say?
It's for racing. You're gonna.
Yeah, I know you're racing.
Yes.
Yeah. What would his S be? What? That's
I don't know. Now I need to know what his plate says.
Yeah. I know it's a vanity thing. Yeah. Hello, Sean. Yeah, you need to be European to know what a Playmobil haircut is. It's the German competitor with Lego. Not as good.
That's racing in my Prius.
I'm not saying you win. I'm just saying race.
Oh man.
It says racing in my Prius. No, you don't.
Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know that we have not asked you about either George or Sarah?
I don't think so.
When I mean, you guys have been separated for what do you say, 5?
We've been divorced about 1.5 years. We were separated a good 8 months before that or so. And we'd been separated one other time before that, before we got back together, and we're trying to do therapy, which didn't work at all. So
how long has she been living in this apartment?
Ever since we got divorced. So
1.5 years ago?
No, longer than that then. Because I took over the house. I moved in there and she moved here. Because I told her I was buying her out of the house. So I guess it has been longer than that. I think she just said she renewed, so maybe just past 2 years. That may be right.
I think she said she's been here like 4 years.
No, she's been with George. I don't know.
Yeah, she's with George for 4 years, and she just got divorced a 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And any time that you recall when you guys were together, and she would be drunk, did she always like resort to getting angry? Like, is she an angry drunk, or would she like?
Her main problem is she can't stop.
Okay.
I mean, she can't go out and have a glass of wine with dinner.
Right.
That's not anything she can do, because once she starts drinking, she will continue drinking basically until she out.
She out.
If she were to be drunk, would she like want to play games with you? Like, did you guys?
Oh, there's a really good period where she is very good, but then she drinks past that and she gets into the angry bits.
Okay.
And you never know when you're playing sorry when that angry bit's gonna happen.
No.
Can you just raise your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. This ends the recording 1552 hours.
That's 3:52.
Today's date is March 1st, 2020. The time now is approximately 16:41 hours.
That's
Reference to
4:41.
Orange County case number 20-017904. I am on the phone with, can you state your name, sir? And I have a couple follow-up questions that I wanted to ask Brian Boone in reference to this case. Brian, just give me your date of birth for me. Okay. And do you promise and swear everything we're going to talk about is going to be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. So we had a conversation about the incident and your involvement.
Oh,
Sorry?
it just said applause. I love the.
Oh, I thought you said, "Oh, pause." I
No,
thought
I was like,
there was nothing really.
applause.
I was just thinking, there's nothing really there to pause and talk about. But yeah, maybe Mo had
No,
some
but
epiphanies.
the more I hear Detective Goodhair with just her audio and her, okay, so we're going to talk today, that upward inflection at the end of a sentence that is not a question is illegal when I become president.
She's going to argue that she did win hide and seek. Yeah, technically, he didn't find me because I found him. So if I won, can I also be guilty because it was just... She's going to argue a lot of stuff. I can't wait for this to start. It's going to be so stupid.
Man, a few days ago, early this week, I believe on Tuesday. And after looking through Sarah's call logs, I noticed that she called you on February 23rd, which would be the Sunday night at around 23:46 hours, that's military time, but in normal time, that's 11:46 hours. Do you recall that phone call?
I do, well, somewhat. I was asleep when she called. So she woke me up. I was half asleep when I was talking to her. She did sound very inebriated.
Okay.
I don't remember what all she's... I'm kind of used to her calling drunk late at night and things like that, so it didn't faze me as anything out of the ordinary. I basically just kind of got her off the phone and told her I'm going back to sleep and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. You said that she sounded inebriated, like she was drunk?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't sound like... It's hard to... I was half asleep at the time. I don't think I remember hearing anything bad in the background or anything that would have caused me concern, but I don't really remember it that well.
Okay, but she was under the influence of alcohol based off of your knowledge of just knowing her and knowing when and when she's not under the influence.
Yeah. As soon as I heard her start talking, I almost kind of just zoned out away from it because she says all kinds of nonsense when she does this late at night, and I was trying to get her off the phone so I could go back to sleep. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm on the phone right now. You can get yourself right off. Get yourself right off. Your pajamas are right here, okay? Hold on, buddy. I'm sorry.
It's
okay.
Go ahead. It's okay. Oh, go ahead.
Youngest, most feral, even in an interrogation.
Okay. Okay, so do you remember her saying anything specifically about George?
Like okay, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't really remember. I really don't remember much of the conversation, honestly.
Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, and the phone conversation lasted for a little over 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken?
May have been, yeah.
Okay. And you said that is kind of normal for her to call you late at night or just kind of whenever she's under the influence and she's kind of just babbling on and you have to try and get her off the phone.
Yeah,
if you don't
it's a thing that happens.
Okay. Okay, so you can't remember anything specific about what she may or may not have said, but she did sound inebriated. Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
And you couldn't hear anything in the background?
Not that.
As far as like arguing or yelling or anything like that, you couldn't hear any of that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you know where she was located? Did she ever say?
I was assuming she was at home.
Okay, but she didn't say.
I mean, she didn't have a lot of money. She didn't really go out anywhere, so I assumed she was at home.
Okay, but you wouldn't know where in the house she may have been?
No.
Okay, she didn't give you that information. Okay.
Not that I remember. It's possible she said something. I don't really remember, though.
Okay. All right, is there anything else that you think is important for me to know about that phone conversation?
I don't think so.
Does that typically, do you guys talk often? Like in a day's time, like do you guys talk daily?
More than I would like. Normally, anytime I'm calling her, it's to find out if she's actually going to be picking the child up like she's supposed to.
Right.
Like that.
She's like not if I can avoid it.
Right. She'll call to talk to Lucas, or sometimes when she's drunk, or she wants me to come pick her up because she's scared of George, or any number of different things.
Okay, you're kind of like her call person, like she.
Yeah. It's gotten very old over the last couple of years, so I've started to just kind of ignore what she's saying and just try to get her gone as soon as possible.
Right.
Because, I mean, honestly, for a long time, I tried to help her out, give her refuge, get away from him, and she just kept bringing him back, and I eventually just gave up on the situation, so.
Right. Okay. All right. Do you promise and swear everything that we have talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
That was all the audios that we had from the YouTube channel of MixMastaMellyD, small YouTuber who has a lot of different stuff. I found this over there. I don't know much about it. I'm gonna copy and paste it. So if you want to go give him a like or something, you can do that. Mo.
Yes.
I have maybe a little optimistically set up a stream for tomorrow, 9 Eastern. Do we get a trial tomorrow?
I say by midday, Judge Kranick is like, we're going with what we've got.
Yeah.
Because
half of them are blind and the other half is deaf, but we'll do it live.
Yeah, I feel like he is going to. I think the defense is going to become wildly more unhinged in their wanting to strike people for, even knowing maybe the bare bones. And yes, this is a clue shirt because I'm going to help Sarah find a clue as to why she's in, jail. Thus
because
far,
it was unintentionally.
Still no answers for her.
And Mo and I will be dual streaming Sarah because she's too much woman for just one person. So we will have to tag team her. And even at some point, we will bring in Jamie as well. Stop biting my finger. Ow. Now I have yeah.
Everyone can work in my cabinet if I'm president.
Everyone should be couldn't they be cabinet member of their own life? And then they can just do whatever they want. I want to do that.
I mean, that's kind of how I operate my life daily, but
yeah. Less rules. Less rules, more cake. That should be the rule.
Sounds like a plan.
She's getting into, I'm going to lick everything right now mode. I think she needs to go out and get a walk. But no, Mo and I will pick this up when it starts, hopefully tomorrow in the morning. If we have any resolution on how many, if any, jurors we are having, you'll probably see it on the twats, or I'll make a video. Mo will make a video mentioning it. Other than that, swing by and show Mo a little love. Show Alice Nuke Cloud a little love. Maybe me, if you want to do it. Other than that, I don't know. What else do we have to?
Well, now I have to go over to Bing Image and see if I can either figure out how to get a drunken bear with a hair helmet, or if I just take a yogi picture and add Sarah's hair to it.
The hardships we face as creators, it's not that easy to be a creator. We have to sit here. Drunky the Bear, is it Boone's Farm or is it For Loco? It's hard to do all the stuff.
Or Mad Dog 2020.
Well, it's kind of your thing is Mad Dog 2020. So
well, that's what I heard, that Sarah had a bottle of that in her car or left in her car when she, went in for that, sneak interrogation.
Is it a beer or is it a liquor?
It is, what is it? I call it a mix of like Jolly Ranchers and Broken Dreams, but it is.
Oh, this looks nasty.
Yeah, it's alcohol, or it's fortified wine, which I think it was fortified with, again, Broken Dreams and Bad Choices. But it's blue raspberry.
What's the speed limit on that one?
It is 13% alcohol.
13%. That's for pregnant women and kids.
Or lightweights who cut all of their booze with
She
Diet
was
Sprite.
no. You take that back. She was no lightweight.
No, I am, which is why, oh, this doesn't taste too bad. And then I'm like, oh, I need to go take a nap. Maybe Sarah has a point.
Well,
I do have Four Loko though, because our gas stations didn't sell Mad Dog, and I was trying to think of the most boozy thing I could find at a gas station.
Oh, it's got a little of the unaged whiskey in it.
Oh, well, that would explain a whole lot.
But we used to have those. Well, we still have them. Normally, it's just with licorice flavor, but that's 37-40% on the gas pedal. So it's a good. It's a shot that you.
Licorice is gross. Can't we just all agree that licorice is gross?
We better
black licorice.
Remember to redirect, because this is going to end now. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today, and please come back tomorrow. And will there be a Newsy News tonight, Mo?
Probably not. I will be putting together a cat tree for Dingus to see if he and Thor will stop assaulting my computer during streams. So, you know, hope springs eternal. I doubt it will work, but we can always try.
Well, the world is built by dreamers and destroyed by cats. That's the truth about it. On those wise words, hasta la taco.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100% correct.
Checking your honor.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.